The Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. Check. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My ground repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Miggy for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, sun up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty, man, back with another one, man. I haven't done a midday show in quite some time, so I'm glad to be here, man. Glad to see y'all Bamas and all you guys on the YouTube world watching me at work. Listen, I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like a pastor. I'm not gonna hold you. I just want to talk some things. Again, if you're able to call in, you always know. If you want to hit it in the chat, if you got a question in the chat, I got some time. I don't got to pick up my kids or nothing like that, so I got plenty of time to just chop it up with you guys if there's some questions and we just want to talk. So, as you can see the thumbnail, we got a lot to talk about. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. How you feel, how you might feel, things like that. And we're going to discuss all of that in today's show. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you share, subscribe, all that dumb stuff that YouTube makes you do, all right? Now, again, what you all have come for, okay? Let me see. I got these call lines open. Let me open these call lines up real quick. Let this white lady talk real quick.
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
Listen, we got a great week of football coming up. Again, I'm doing a watch party for Alabama State and FAMU. That'll be at 3 o'clock. And then right after that, won't really be a post-game show probably, going right into Southern and Jackson. All right, we're going to do a late night. We're going to do a post-game show for that one as well. We're definitely going to do a post-game show for that one. All right, might be able to get Zone there so we could talk a little post-game for that, and then probably do late reads on Sunday to talk about the whole slate of games. All right, so full week is going to be going down. All right, I'm excited, man. Conference plays didn't start. If you want a MEAC, you got about till Halloween till you start playing each other. No diddy. All right. Now let's get into the day. Like I said, if you see the thumbnail, we talking a little SWAC TV. We talking the new FCS Playoff Model, and we talking about Amazon Classics. Now, I posed the question in the poll on the chat, right? What is your thoughts on SWAC TV? And that's going to be out throughout the whole show. You know what I'm saying? Got some votes coming in. People giving it a B. Some people giving it a C. Got some A's. Got some D's. Got some miss me with it. All right. Let me put this on the side so I can see it live. All right. Listen. I'm giving it a C because it is an avenue that a lot of people have been waiting for. And you got it. I've been talking about, again, I'm new to the space, but this is something I've been drudging up for probably the past 3 years strongly, especially 2 in Dion, right? I've been drudging this up for quite some time. Let me pause that so they don't. All right, I've been drudging this up for quite some time, and I'm glad to see it here, right? I'm glad to see it here, but I'm gonna give you some of my likes. I'm gonna give you some of my dislikes to show you why I gave it a C. And for me, I gotta grade it off the notion that it was pushed to you, right? Like if they would have told me they did this last year, they came up with this concept last year and then they put it together, I probably would have gave it a B. Just because of the quick turnaround for people trying to feel like we need to get this done. We should have this. We need to get this ready. We need to push this. I would have gave it a B, probably a B minus, because of just the quick turnaround. But when you tell me you've been planning this jank for 3 years and the first iteration of it is this rough, I have a problem with it. I have a problem with it. I do. I like, there's no ifs and buts about it. And I'm going to say this again. I'm going to keep saying this to you. All the other platforms are not going to give you the real, because if they tell you what they really feel, they'll get access denied. They won't be able to go. I'm the pariah of the space. So I don't have any allegiance to anybody, right? I'm not here to play puppet for anybody, right? I tell you how I feel. I go about my merry way. Right? So, again, you won't see people really tell you if it's bad or if it's good or if they love it or if they hate it. And then the people that are getting paid by SWAC are definitely not going to tell you that there's some things that they could probably do better, right? But I digress, right? So let's get into it. The things that I love, right? And I think off the premise of it, you gotta love the on-demand for all the sports, right? Like I've seen volleyball, I've seen soccer on there. I've seen a lot of sports on there in the way that it's set up, right? So got to give credit for that. The buffering has gotten better from the beginning, from the first week that is going on to where it is now. 3-year plan, lack of execution. That's I messed that up, so don't worry about that one, right? So those are my two favorites, right? My dislikes, right? See, it was the 3-year lack of execution was another one. I only had 2 likes, right? The dislikes, the lack of uniformity. I have a problem with, and maybe it's the military guy in me, right? I have a problem with everything looking differently. That's just me. Like, if this is supposed to be, and again, people will say, well, Scotty, ESPN Plus does it the way that they do it. Well, ESPN Plus is just a hub that each school broadcasts their own way, and they push it towards ESPN Plus. But this is a SWAC product. This isn't like a random association of schools that have come together, and the SWAC is just a media. No, it's 12 goddamn schools that should all be in a uniformity in how they broadcast the game. You were going to have to broadcast it regardless. Can I get a uniformity of standard? I mean, can I get some type of uniformity of how this is supposed to look? How one game can have a scoreboard ticker and maybe a play clock. The other one doesn't. The other one has timeouts. The other one don't have timeouts. The other one has cool graphics. The other one don't. It's a lot of just a misappropriation of different things that makes it look bad, because one school or one game can have a really, really good broadcast and you're like, oh, this is A1. And then another school is like, you're getting frustrated. You're like, come on, man. Like, how are we in 2025 and we can't get this shit right? When you got people who do live streaming with a wife and a husband that look better than a whole broadcasting team or a whole broadcasting school or a school that has broadcast journalism that can't show the game right. It doesn't make any. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm always going to be on the notion of it doesn't make sense. I'm not here to give anybody caveats. If you out here bragging about some shit, like, do it right. Do it right. I would have been okay. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I would have been okay if that guy, the light-skinned guy, got on a platform and said, hey, we put this together last year. We really excited about, what we got planned. Bear with us because there are going to be some bumps and bruises as it comes along. But we're fully supported. We're going behind this. We're going to grow it. I wouldn't be as critical. I really wouldn't. I'd be like, hey, that's somebody being upfront and honest about what's coming down the pipeline and understanding that this was a year turnaround that we're trying to get going in the right direction for our fans. But I'm going to keep saying this. When you are telling people you've been planning this for 3 years, and this is what you put together after 3 years, that is atrocious. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. If you're telling people, hey, man, we've been producing this for 3 years. This has been in the making for 3 years. Not 6 months, not a year. You've been planning this for 3 years, and your rollout has been ass. It's been cheeks, pinky cheeks. Okay? I'm talking about cheeks. My issue is this, and I'm going to keep saying it, is that what bothers me about the conference is that for all the dumb stuff that they want to be on page with and in sync and together, that this looks like a shoddy job of trying to be together because the uniformity is not there. Now, from what I'm hearing is that multiple games and multiple schools are having different production companies and this and that, and it's just crazy, man. But I just think that, to me, it's funny to me what the conference decides to be uniform on, and we should have uniformity on. But then the intricate details of certain things, whatever you want to do. Oh, however you want to do it. It just doesn't make any sense to me, right? The commercials. This would be a great time to show off the individual schools and what they got going and this is a great time to promote whatever the conference or the institutions are doing. I am so sick of this goddamn, the premium FCS conference with 12 institutions. I am so sick of seeing that commercial. Again, you've been planning this for 3 years and you got one commercial. And then it's Home Depot. And then it's Cricket. Like, what? Huh? You telling me 12 schools cannot come up with 12 different commercials? Like A&M, if Alcorn and A&M are playing, they should have Alcorn commercials and Alabama A&M commercials. If I was Alabama A&M, I'm going to listen. If I'm any school in the SWAC, but especially if I was Alabama A&M, I'm going to have commercials for my spots. I'm going to make money off this. I don't care what the SWAC tells me. I do not care. I'm going to go out and get commercials to make money for those spots because clearly you don't have any. I'm going to pitch to businesses in my local area that, hey, we got TV spots that are going to get seen by alums in the area that are going to come to Huntsville for homecoming. Hey, wouldn't you like to have a car commercial? Wouldn't you have like the restaurant commercial? Wouldn't you like to have a automobile, a food commercial, a lounge commercial? Like, I gotta let people know that when they come to Huntsville, these are the spots that you can go to. I'm selling that. I don't care what the SWAC tells me. I don't care because you don't have any commercials. You don't have any commercials. I'm going to sell the bejesus out my spots because if it's a home game for me, it should be my spots. So I'm going to take it. If it's Alcorn, I'll do the same thing. If it was Jackson, I'm going to do the same thing because now I'm pitching to alums that, hey, we can sell you a commercial spot for $1,500, $2,000, $5,000, whatever it might be. Whatever it might be. And there's another thing that I would do. All right, because I hope I took pictures of it. If any Southern person watched the Fresno State game, I loved what Fresno State did in their broadcast, right? What Fresno State would do in their broadcast, and I'm telling you right now, if you see this, listen to me very carefully. If you see this, they stole it from me because I know none of them are good enough to go watch that broadcast and say, you know what? Oh, my God, we should do that. What Fresno State did is anytime the school got in the red zone, they had a banner for who sponsored the red zone. It was dope. Every first down, they had a banner of who sponsored the first down. First down for Fresno State, sponsored by this business. And then they had a red zone one. When they got into the red zone, they put a little banner who sponsored the red zone. When they got a touchdown, it was genius. Pure genius. Pure genius. That is what SWAC TV should be. That is how that's how you capitalize on that's how you capitalize on what SWAC TV should be. For each home team, that should be their broadcast to where they're able to implement commercials for whatever local businesses they have, for whatever they got going. That should be their opportunity to capitalize on that money because you're taking their games away from their own individual streaming platforms. So the way they can get it back is now I can double up because watch how they double up, right? You double up because SWAC TV is going to pay you supposedly, right? And now I can go sell commercial spots. So I don't have to be on ESPN Plus and just say commercial break and they give you that weird background with the blue stuff, right? It's not that. It's I can plug different local businesses and generate some type of income and promote my school and promote what we got going, all different type of things like that, and show off and give my students a freedom to come up with commercials, right? To give them to build their portfolios. If I got directors at the school, if I got like the girl from Texas Southern who did that video about they did like a playoff of the movie. What movie was that came out with Michael B. Jordan with the twins? Y'all gonna put it in the chat for me, right? But she did a Texas Southern and Prairie View playoff that, right? Again, you get talent like that to bring you a commercial and put it in the SWAC TV. Sinners, thank y'all so much, Sinners. It was such a great. Now imagine that commercial being played on SWAC TV. Like they play that for a commercial on SWAC TV. It was great entertainment, right? Again, the Alabama A&M and Magic City Classic, the ones they got the Emmys off of, right? The one they won an Emmy off of. Like those short stories getting put inside SWAC TV for small snippets and commercials. That's great. It's no different than Little Penny for Sprite. It's no different than, like great them old school Nike commercials or Spike Lee with Michael Jordan. Is it the shoes, right? Like that's what commercials are all about. Is finding the creativity within your alumni base, within your school kids or whatever, to find and create different things to put your school on the map. That's what SWAC TV should be for. It's for the growth of the students, for the growth of the SWAC product, to find hidden talent within the SWAC community, within the SWAC infrastructure, right? So that you can build these guys and characters up to go be great and better alums to where they're able to come back and give money, right? But I'm not seeing it. I'm literally not seeing it. All I'm seeing is that SWAC TV is a glorified DVR. SWAC TV is a glorified DVR. That is all it is. It is literally a platform to record the games and say, here you go. Here you go. Watch it. If you were at work, here you go. If you were at a birthday party, here you go. That's all it is a glorified DVR. When you miss your show and you come home and you say, baby, did you delete my show? Oh, I see it. It's right there. That's all it is. That's literally all it is. Instead of it being an incubator of talent, instead of it being an incubator of ideas and freshness and innovation, SWAC TV could truly be an incubator of innovation. That is what is so disturbing about you were doing this for 3 years and this is the shit that you put out. This is what it is. It's sad. And I keep telling y'all what it's like if you had a homeboy who was like, hey man, I know how to make a business. I know how to make $1 million. You're like, bro, but you've never made $1 million. No, but I know how. I'm telling you, man, all we got to do, it's like Keenan and Kale, right? Like Keenan always got some harebrained scheme, but it's like, bro, have any of them ever worked? And when this first got pitched and people were saying, Scotty, you're being too evil or a problem, I'm saying it's crazy to me this, is that you'll trust people who have never had a great idea in their life. They've never had a creative idea of their life to now put together a network, a SWAC TV network. What SWAC TV looks like is what the SWAC has looked like for the last 4 years without Dion. Bare minimum, pure bare minimum. And that's my issue with SWAC TV, is just that, again, it's a C because, again, as a DVR, it's great. I can go back and watch the games, but what is it really incubating? You're not seeing any fresh new talent call the games, right? Like you're not seeing the Valley. I would have loved to see the Valley. No diss to Mo, no diss to Mo, and no diss to Flood. right? But me personally, I would have loved to see the Valley boys, those two Valley boys that do basketball. I would have loved to see what they look like for football. If they do football, if they don't, then okay, I get it, right? But you're not seeing any fresh new talent. You're not seeing any of that where you would want to try to find, you know what I'm saying, fresh new talent, because again, these guys, the young kids in the SWAC have careers that they're trying to aspire to, right? Like, you're trying to find the next Ty Floyd. You're not trying to find the next Mo Carter. Like, Mo Carter is already established. Flood is already established. You're trying to find the next Ty Floyd. You see what I'm saying? You're trying to find the next young and up-and-coming star that could really arise to be the next Tiffany Green, the next Jay Walker, the next Mo. Right? So that is my, I would have just liked to see, like, if you want to pair a Mo with a young color commentary, that, to me, that is what SWAC TV is about. That's what it's about. If you want to pair a Ty Floyd with a young color commentator, like, that's like the mentorship of that. That's what this should be about. But I'm not seeing the incubation of ideas. And it goes back to the incubate. There's no multi-view. There's no multi-view in this. Like, you would think that seeing ESPN and how they got multi-view, seeing YouTube TV, again, you've been planning this, Liv, right? But you've been planning this for 3 years. You've been watching the landscape of internet TV for 3 years. And you don't even have a multi-view option? Again, like, and people will say, oh, Scotty, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, this is common sense. Like, if I'm watching the landscape of internet television, wouldn't you think I would take some tidbits? I'm like, oh, I like that multi-view. I like that ESPN multi-view. How do we do that? I'll go to the app people. How do we get multi-view put on our thing? How do we do that? Can we do that? How much is that? Like, because again, if we're playing 3 games at the goddamn same time, don't you think we want to watch 3 games at the same time? Come on, man. Common sense. Why I gotta bring up 3 devices when I can just bring up 3? Again, and my last but not least is no show content. Again. All you have done is turn this into a glorified DVR. That's all SWAC TV is SWAC TV, SWAC DVR. Don't call it SWAC TV, it's SWAC, because SWAC TV has commercials. SWAC TV has shows. Because you stole the idea from us, so HBCU TV had a lot of stuff to do with it. Shows and bands and content, and it's SWAC DVR. That's what it is. SWAC replay. That's what you should call it, SWAC replay. Because that's all this really is. Because if you don't have a show content, and this is the issue with HBCU Go, and I would tell Curtis Simons, and I would tell whoever else is in the head of programming, your issue is you don't have programming. So all you are good for is a live football game, and that's it. Once football season is over, why am I watching HBCU Go? Okay. Once the game is over, why am I watching SWAC TV in any form or faction? Why am I watching SWAC TV after the game is over? There's no reason to come back. Unless you're like, oh, let me find this one play. I'm going to clip this play and I'm going to put this. That's it. Again, it's not a very well thought out idea. You can't make me believe that this is 3 years in the making and this is what you decide to come up with, right? And again, was SWAC DVR needed? Absolutely, because everybody wants to see the games. And that's why I gave it a C. I'm going to keep saying that. I gave it a C because everybody wants to see the games, right? Everybody wants to see the games. And that's what this is. That's what this allows you to do. You get to see the random Valley games. You get to see the random UAPB games. You get to see the random Bethune-Cookman games. You get to see the random Alcorn games, right? Like you get to see those because the big brands are always going to be on some type of show or some type of TV or being picked up, right? Like the Jacksons, the Southerns, the FAMUs, they're always going to get picked up. But it was difficult going from one streaming platform to another streaming platform to another streaming platform to another streaming platform, to where you had to pay all this money to watch the game, right? Like I want to go over here at Jackson and watch the game. I'm watching the game, but it's just announcers with no sports ticker, with no nothing. I'm watching Alabama State stream. They ain't got no ticker. It's just a whole bunch of mess. So I appreciate SWAC DVR for bringing everything together and you having one central location, which is the smartest thing in the world. But again, you have to have a standard. That is a good one. That I agree. Not impressed, right? But you got to have a standard of how you're DVRing this stuff. You got to have a standard of how you're showing this. And again, SWAC TV should be an incubator of talent. Like if I had a tagline for SWAC TV, it will be like an incubator of greatness, or like something to where incubator just sounds bad, but it would be something to where like a word for a coagulation of greatness, or like a melting pot of greatness, something that, you know, really got everything. Like we're grooming the next, like we're because again, I need people. Can y'all give me some time to talk? I just got to get this off my chest, right? The thing for me is this. What bothers me about this is that, you know, people always hit me with like, Scotty, low resource. And I'm like, the funny thing is curating of greatness. Like, yeah, like a curating of excellence, a curating of greatness, like a curating of like something like that. I love that, Merch. Appreciate you. What bothers me is like people say we're low resource, but I'm like, that's when people are the most innovative. I'm preaching today. That's when people are the most innovative, when you have the least amount, when you don't have food in the cabinet. And again, I got cousins. Again, I was middle class. I got cousins that grew up in the hood. I got cousins that didn't have everything, right? And they mom made a meal that I had never had before. And I know if I say it, y'all gonna be like, oh, it was white rice, beans, cut up sausages, and like bacon. Like it was just a mishmash of just stuff. And I was like, at first when I'm looking at it, pork and beans. It was pork and beans, bacon, and cut up sausages, right? Like, now mind you, I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. But when I tell you it was the best, I still remember how that tastes. It was so good, right? But again, it's hey, I don't have a lot, so I got to make do with what I have. But the innovation comes along with it. You start finding some things like you like, oh man, I didn't know this went together. I didn't know this was good. I didn't know. And that's the thing for me, is that we should be more innovative than any other conference. I'm going to say that again. The SWAC should be more innovative than any other conference because of the lack of resources, because of, hey, we don't have everything. So we got to figure it out a different type of way. We got to do something that attracts people in. That's why the bands are so good, right? Because it's like our football programs are bad, but our bands is what keep people entertained. So, hey, let's focus it on the bands. Let's use the bands to bring, again, and that's just being innovative. Again, and offensive wise, right? SWAC coaches were innovative in the early 70s and 60s and the 80s, right? They were innovative. That's why they were teaching coaching clinics, and white coaches were coming down to learn. And that's why the 49ers head coach got Jerry Rice, and he did his style of offense, the West Coast, and took it from, Mumford and all these different things that show you that the SWAC has been a leader in innovation, but now it seems like it has stopped. And that is the issue for me when it comes to a lot of these institutions, that you want to be so white, or you want to do things the white way. because you think it's the right way, when you should just be you and be innovative and let them mimic you like they've always done. I'm not understanding. Like if you've been an innovator from the beginning, since the inception of HBCUs has been innovation, how do we keep making this thing go on and on? How do we keep surviving on and on? But at some point, the innovation had stopped, and now you're just status quo. Now you're playing catch up every other year instead of being innovative. And innovation doesn't always have to mean money. Innovation just says, hey, how can we do it in a different way that does not hurt us? How do we do it in a different way that, Ohio State pays $5 million to do it, but we pay $100,000 and we get the same product? Or we do it just as good, but we're not paying the premium on it. We're putting out a great product, and you're like, man, how much are y'all paying for that? If you only knew. For the free ski, right? Like, that is what that looks like in innovation. But again, when you don't have people in place, it's the same thing I say about business, right? Like, when it's hard for a person to take you past a ceiling that they have never reached. I can't tell you how to get to 1 million. If you ask me, Scotty, how to get to 1 million subscribers, I would be like, how the hell would I know? I'm at 17,000. I can tell you how to start a YouTube channel. I can tell you how to grow a YouTube channel. I can tell you things that I've been told to get higher, but I can only tell you to where I'm limited. I can give you the recipe, but I can't tell you an exact science to get to 1 million, because I'm not at 1 million. Only somebody that can give you an exact science is somebody who's done it. I've accomplished it. I've built a business. I've made $1 million. I've sold 1 million homes. I've brought in you had to accomplish something to tell somebody how to accomplish it. Right? Or have been a part of an accomplishment to say, hey, when I was in the room, this is what they were discussing. This is how we got here. These were the ideas that were flowing. But when you haven't, that's another topic, right? That's another topic. All I'm saying is this, is that at the end of the day, there has to be better innovation to SWAC DVR, because that's really all that it is. That's really all that it is. And when you don't have any show content, no show content, it doesn't bring a return viewer throughout the week. It doesn't keep this app jumping throughout the week to really double up on these numbers of what it should look like. Now, going into numbers, my issue is this: promotion. Now, again, I know what a lot of people are going to say. Scotty, all you do is hate. I'm not hating. I'm just telling you good business. That's all I'm telling you, is good business. Because what somebody is doing, there's a reason to why they're doing it. There's a reason. I've been in this space long enough. I've seen enough. I've been in enough advertising meetings and rooms and executives to tell you, if they're doing it, it is a reason why. And all I'm saying to you is, if this is my baby and I'm trying to grow this, and the reason that I'm growing this is because I'm trying to prove my value to ESPN, to say, you don't control me, I can break away. Let me explain to you. Let me give it to you in some simpler terms. The SWAC is an abused wife, and the ESPN is the abuser, right? The SWAC is trying to say, I'm gonna get my own job, I'm gonna get my own place, I'm gonna get my own car, and I'm leaving you. Okay, I am leaving you. But it's been difficult because the last 20 years you've been living off this man. No matter how bad he done beat you, no matter how bad he done disrespected you, no matter how bad you've gone through it, he's provided for you. So there's still a tie there that you're just like, I really can't leave because what does it look like without them? Right? So that's all SWAC DVR is. SWAC DVR is the woman trying to get a job, trying to find her own voice, and trying to get an income. So while trying to find your voice, while trying to get your income, wouldn't you be promoting how well you're doing? Wouldn't you be promoting how well you're doing on the platform? Shouldn't you be promoting how many views you had week 1 of SWAC TV? Shouldn't you be promoting? I don't give a damn if it's a lie. I would be can I just talk to y'all for a minute, please? Like I just really need to vent, right? And really, because a lot of y'all just sit back and y'all just let people say stuff to y'all, and y'all really just don't. All I'm asking you guys is just to think. You don't gotta agree. I just want y'all to be like, why is that? And I just want that the process in your brain. I just gotta give you some clarity, right? When the SWAC Classic was first being spoken about, didn't said guy get on every platform and talk about the SWAC Classic and the game and what's going on and how it's going to help the schools, and schools are going to get $500,000 and this how much money and this how much money and they're going to get never happened, but he promoted it. HBCU Go deal comes down the pipeline. He talks about how well it's going to help the institutions and how much it's going to do this and how much it's going to do that, right? Let me play y'all a video. Just a little video.
For example, you know that we've led FCS in attendance 47 of the last 48 years. But what people don't know is that the viewership on ESPNU, ESPN2, ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus, our audience is bigger than 3 of the FBS conferences, including football. There are more people that watch our football games than 3 FBS conferences. So that, every time they...
Now, I'm not saying he's lying. Whoever this guy is. I'm not saying this guy's lying. All I'm saying is, if this is your pitch, why are you not putting out promotions to show what the numbers look like on SWAC TV? That's all I'm saying. Put some data behind it. Put a post up. Hey, week 1 of SWAC TV, over 500,000 viewers for such and such game. Over 100% or 200%, whatever the number is. The most watched game on SWAC TV, State Fair Classic or the Labor Day Classic brought in a number of 600,000 viewers at the highest point of the game. Why not put that out? Why not promote that? If this is your pitch, that's all. Like, it has to make sense. You're saying a lot of stuff, but there's no data. I'm going to say it again. You're saying a lot of stuff, but there's no data. I can get up here and tell you, oh, for the last 6 months, I've been the most watched, viewed show in the HBCU space. And you guys will be in the comments, oh, congratulations, Scotty. Oh, and then there'll be people saying, prove it. Prove it, Scotty. I got my numbers. You got to prove it. But nobody does that to anybody else. Nobody does that to the major conference that's supposed to be getting TV deals, that's trying to leave ESPN to try to do their own thing. Nobody says that. Where is the data? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And you cannot walk into an advertising meeting saying, hey, we beat FBS programs. We get better views than a lot of G5 in lower FBS programs, where's the data? Because if it was me, I'm pushing that for the and this is how you let me school you in game. Let me school you in game. This is advertising 101. What you could do is this. In the first 4 weeks of SWAC TV, over 2.1 million views. Now again, they don't know where that shit's coming from, but it's good data. Over 2.1 million views. The highest watched game was this game. The most watched minutes was this game. Like, that's what great promotion does. And you know what people do? Fox News runs with it because who got Fox News on speed dial? Mr. Lightskin. Hey guys, did you just see our new poll? You see our new post today? Yeah, can you run an article for us about how well we're doing? Yeah. 2.5 million. Yeah. That's for the first 4 weeks of the season. Yeah. Go ahead and put that in the article real quick. And then what do alums do? Retweet, reshare, retweet, reshare, retweet, reshare, retweet, reshare, retweet. What does the local news do? Retweet, reshare, retweet, reshare, retweet. Like, how else are you going to push a product? And how else somebody know you got the best drugs if you ain't promoting it? How else people know?
That mean the bitch got niggas acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the drop on us. My back is against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me. Nigga.
Like, I mean, come on. Come on. But I'm the crazy one. I'm the crazy one. I'm the bad guy. I'm the big bad guy. I'm the person that just hates everything swagging. I hate to see HBCU thrive. And I'm just saying it's not making sense. It's not making sense. If you're trying to do better and be better and get better, why aren't you promoting being better? Why aren't you promoting how well you're doing? Why not? You never know who might get and be like, oh man, an all-black audience doing these type of numbers, doing this. Again, you might not get a national retailer. You might not get a big brand. But who's to say you can't get a Fortune 500 company that's right at that cusp and say, hey, we'll do a deal with you for $10 million for commercials or $5 million. Or you get enough of those, you get 4 or 5 of those type of deals. Now you got $50 million to play with. You get, I'll never forget what Josh told me, right? Josh from HBCU Nightly, if anybody doesn't know, he's the CMO of Big Shack Chicken, right? And he was talking about how we get ads and stuff like that. And so he was like, bro, he said, we just gonna go to funeral homes and we gonna get 25,000 here, 25,000 there, 20, and then you look up and you got over $200,000-$300,000. That's the same thing the SWAC can do. I don't need a big Pepsi. Give me cola. Give me somebody in the middle. Give me Poppy. Give me somebody right at that cusp. Right? Give me a local, give me a national pizza brand, right? It don't gotta be Domino's, but goddamn, it might be Godfather's Pizza, or it might be somebody in between. Maybe some Bucky commercials. RC Cola. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they give you $3 million for a commercial spot. Like, you gotta live in the in between, because the big brands got the big schools, so they don't need you. But go to them little, get 100, get 250 here, get 100,000 there, get $1 million here, get 3 million there. And now you look up, now we out here distributing money. We out here really getting it. That's all I'm saying. Is, again, You gotta be innovative. Go to a bank that's in. Go to a bank that's go to Regions. Go to Wawa. Go to Publix. Publix and the SWAC should be like this. Publix and SWAC should be like this, hand in hand. Like, because it's in that whole vicinity. That's all I'm saying, man. Again, last thing before I move on. I would have liked to see SWAC DVR and HBCU Go have been in a partnership. What I mean by that is this, is that I would have liked to seen it be in the sort of like SWAC DVR presented by HBCU Go. Because again, HBCU Go and their level of production is just it's magnificent. It's A1, right? So if there would have been a way that HBCU Go could have given you a standard of production across the board. Now, again, maybe for the premium games, you get the premium graphics. So every game wouldn't be as an HBCU Go premium high quality game. But if they could have given you a standard across the board of just like ticker, just the basics, pure basics, timeout, ticker, play clock, and then you move in conjunction with that, and then the major games have the top-notch HBCU Go product, then I think that would have been a better release than you just doing it individually and just figuring everything out, and because it would have been a standard. And again, we don't need the SWAC and the FCS community doesn't need a lot because we're used to ESPN Plus, no Diddy dicking us around, right? Like giving you, you can tell that the timer is literally a videotape, a camera on the timer, and they put it in that bottom section. Like you can tell. So again, the quality isn't great, but it's like you got to deal with what you got to deal with. But if you could give the product to people that across the board looks symmetric, like it has the symmetry across the board, the camera, the views of the camera, the look of the camera is the same across the board, nobody would be complaining. Real talk, I honestly believe nobody would be too mad about anything because they're like, hey, it's a great product, it's a great look, it's pretty much ESPN but for free. Right, so that's what that should have looked like, in my personal opinion. And I'm always going to say, I don't think the SWAC should have sold themselves to HBCU Go. I think the SWAC and the HBCU Go should have been a true partnership from the beginning, to both of them grow with each other. I think if you get that, HBCU Go and SWAC they immensely grow together. Because now, going to my next point. See how this all blends together, right? HBCU Go owns these games. So Amazon or P&G being the sponsor of these games, because again, it being a conference game, the SWAC technically owns these games, right? They technically no, the school owns the games, and the conference owns the championship games. But the school owns their own individual games, right? But again, that's why the SWAC commissioner is trying to do the SWAC Classic. But again, if you have these games and you see that Amazon is interested in these games, I'm going to keep saying this again. If HBCU Go and SWAC were in a partnership, then you could probably coagulate it all together and then pitch yourselves to Amazon, and then you would have had more of these. And then you probably had an Amazon deal on the table. You get what I'm saying? But what you're getting now is HBCU Go taking the games that they have paid for and own, because they are the media rights holder for those games. They've taken those games, pitched those games to Amazon, right? And now they're getting paid by Amazon to put their game on Amazon. And again, right? HBCU Go is paying is paying the schools to have this content and everything like that. So they're getting their distribution checks. And I know the SWAC wasn't getting distribution checks before, who was in the office. I get all that. Not taking anything away from them. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is that this would have been a better situation for the SWAC. Yes, granted, listen, I'll give it to you, right? That is this a good look? Is this a great look? Absolutely. This is an awesome look. This is an absolutely awesome look. But I'm telling you this should be every SWAC school. The SWAC and Amazon Prime should have a deal together, or Apple TV. They should have. This is an absolutely great look. Great look for SWAC, for HBCU football. But again, the beneficiary is, yes, the schools, but again, HBCU Go owns it. HBCU Go owns the game. They have the media rights. They turned around, they flipped it, and whatever they got for it is what they got for it. You get what I'm saying? So again, I love it. I think it's a great opportunity. I can't wait to see what the broadcast looks like. I'll say this. It might be a production by HBCU Go that's put on by Amazon Prime. So pretty much they're just a holding spot for it. So they're just distributing it, right? It might be a distribution deal for this, right? So what I mean by this is that Amazon is not putting the production behind it. Is HBCU Go's production, but they are the distributors of it. So they're the universal records for a artist. You get what I'm saying? So it's probably going to be an HBCU Go product, but just presented by Allcore. It's presented by Amazon Prime as a distribution deal, which again is awesome. What's up, Sai? Right? So it's awesome. And you got to give them that. And I think this is a great look. All right. I think it's an absolutely great look. And I think it's great that the Las Vegas class is going to be put on. But can I say this though? Can I say this? Can I just say this real quick? Just stay with me for just a little bit. I'm not going to be here long. How would it have looked that HBCU Go product is absolutely A1? I'm never taking that away from them. I will never dispute that. HBCU Go, in my personal opinion, is better than ESPN. That's just my personal opinion. So the thing is like this, right? I think for the Las Vegas Classic and Southern Heritage Classic, like I would have loved to seen like a combination of the Amazon graphics. You know how they got like the circle on the players when they're blitzing, and some of the analytics that you can watch it in multiple forms and multiple factions. I think that would have been so dope. So dope. So dope. All right. And make sure y'all go to my boy Rocky's page. They have an interview with Curtis Simons, the president of HBCU Go, that talks about this in a myriad of ways of what they're doing and what the product is and just all the things HBCU Go and some things. So make sure y'all check out Rocky's podcast on the Rocky Miller podcast with the Coach's Corner as well. All right. Last but not least, right? Let's talk about this. Could a new entity oversee the finances and the finance of the FCS playoffs commissioners to hear new model pitch this week? Let me say this. I think this is dope, first and foremost, right? I think this is, I'm gonna do it in terms of FCS, and then I'm also talk about in the terms of HBCU. For the FCS playoffs, this is a great move. I think the less the NCAA has to do with the FCS playoffs, the better it can be. Now, I got some questions that people posed to me as if the changes happen, do HBCUs go? No, they don't. They don't go. They don't want to compete. I don't care. Listen, I don't give a damn how many historians come on here and tell you about what it is, what it's not, what they try to do, where they place us. I don't give a damn about none of that. They don't want to compete. They're not good enough to compete. Even if it's in the sense of you get, like in the playoffs, getting out the first and second rounds of the playoffs are great. Are you to the level of a North Dakota State and a South Dakota State or Montana? Most likely not. Most likely not. Right? But can you compete in the first and second rounds and maybe make a run if you have a better built team? Possibly. But again, they don't want to compete for a national championship. They're okay with the black national championship. And again, I've always said, if that's your cup of tea, if you want to be Wakanda, Wakanda it up. That's cool. That's fine. But at the end of the day, this has no bearing on what HBCUs want to do because A, they don't want to compete, and B, they got their own shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think the only way as an FCS thing is that you got to take the bid system out of it. You got to take the bid system out of it. No school should have to bid for the home game. It should simply be based off merit, strength of schedule, better record, and what it should be like. There should I shouldn't have to pay to get to to have a home game if I'm the better team, if I got the better record, or strength of schedule. And if everything matches up, then you do a coin flip. Right? You do a coin flip, right? So that is what it is. Now, I think in the terms of, I think once you get to the quarterfinals, I think there should be a bowl system for the quarterfinals, right? Like if you get to like the top 8 or top 6, because I think it's like the top 24 getting into the playoffs, the top 20, something like that. I think once you get to those like top 6 teams, I think that should be a bowl system. Like the New Year's Eve Bowl, I think those 6 games should be sponsored and have payouts, right? And then, or maybe just the final 4, right? So 2-2, those 2 games should be sponsored and be a bowl system. And then, because you don't want them to walk, like even in the college football playoffs, the top teams don't walk away with nothing. Like you got to think about that. In the FCS playoffs, you can make it to the semifinals and walk away with completely nothing other than, your attendance and your concessions. I don't agree with that. I think that the last 6 games, so 2-2 quarterfinals, whatever you want to call them, I think the semifinals should have a bowl system. Of course, the national championship, but I think those next games, the games before that, should have a bowl system in place to where you win that game, you get a payout. Because even if you lose, you should be able to get something. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I would base it. That's how I would do it. And I think the national championship should pay out more than the Celebration Bowl. It's a hard. I agree with that too. I like that. I do agree with that. I don't think you should be playing in the snow and like I should. If I'm a Southern team and I gotta go up to Montana State, I'm not doing that. No. We're gonna go to a dome. Like I 100% it should be a neutral site game. I feel as though that at the end of the day, the national championship should get paid out more in the Celebration Bowl and whatever that might be. If it's $3 million, $3.5 million, or the same, right? But again, HBCUs, they're going to do their own thing. We need the money. We got this system. We're fine over here. That's cool. That's dandy. Stay in your pocket. Again, if you have teams that can make it to the playoff system based off of their strength of schedule criteria, great. Go ahead, do that. Like the FAMU that one year. Go ahead, do that. That's great. But that would be my pitch towards FCS and those semifinals and all that type of stuff. I think there should be a payoff. There should be some payout bowl. There should be some bowl games set up inside of the playoff system, just like the college football playoffs, and having that. And I think this is great for NCAA because I think there is a lot of, I reading the article, I do believe there's a lot of missed opportunity within the FCS playoff system that would really make that a really, really great atmosphere as well as a great game or a great system or tournament that they play. So that's it. That's it for me. But at the end of the day, the less of the NCAA, the better. The less NCAA for me, the better. And that's just how I feel about that. All right. Now, that's all I got for y'all. I told you I wasn't going to hold y'all. Look at that. That's an hour in, out. We in and out. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in as always. I'm going to see if I can get Zoe on tonight for a late read show. If not, we'll catch you guys on Saturday and Sunday for the watch party for Bama State and FAMU right here on the channel, watch party, as well as Southern and Jackson State also watch party right here on the channel as well. Listen, and if you didn't watch the Mike show, the breakdown, make sure you go put in your giveaway for opportunity to win a 10-wing deal from M-Bar, sponsored by M-Bar. Got to do a Google sheet. Got to do that. All that's in the description in that video as well. But listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.